Hi everybody, I'm Emily Gillespie and you're here with me for my weekly art chat live here on Instagram. When I was just a kid, my art teacher told me that I wasn't good at arts. I believed her, and for many years I quit doing any activities that I thought were artistic or creative. It took until I was married with a child at home to rediscover my creativity and realize how much joy it brings to my life. Now I love to cheer on other women and help them reconnect with the things that bring them creative joy. These art chats are a way for me to share my thoughts on issues facing creatives and provide encouragement. Thanks for being here with me today. Today I'm talking about creative self-care. There are days when I'm running around from one thing to another, and I barely have time to do anything fun in the evenings before crawling into bed. I'm exhausted, but somehow I'm keeping up. Then there are days when nothing in particular has happened, nothing went wrong, and there's no real reason for me to feel stressed out, but I do. I still feel overwhelmed. I can't focus on what I'm doing. Every little thing seems like an ordeal. My anxiety goes through the roof, my energy is low, and I just feel like I can't even function. Those are the days when it's most important to take a step back and honor rest. Self-care has been a big buzzword over the last several years, but what does it actually mean? I think there's a large gap between the pop culture concept of self-care and what it actually is. So the first thing I want to talk about tonight is that self-care is not the same as self-indulgence. Self-care is not getting pampered at the spa, spending a ton of money, going shopping, eating and drinking to excess, partying. You get the idea. It is not being irresponsible or ignoring your obligations or commitments for the sake of your own pleasure or self-interest. In my opinion, self-care is the decision to do the things that you know will allow you to thrive and prosper and function the best way possible. Sometimes those things are difficult, or maybe not what you want to do right in that moment. Things like going to bed at a decent time because you have to wake up early to work out, or only having one glass of wine because it's a work night and you need to function tomorrow, or eating a balanced dinner, skipping dessert even though you really want it. You're out to dinner, maybe, and your friend orders a piece of chocolate cake. It looks really good, and they're offering you just a bite, just a little bite, tiny little bite. What's the big deal? But you know you have no self-control once you have that little taste, so you say no. I've never had that experience, just in case you were wondering. The second thing to know is that self-care is not a luxury. And again, this doesn't mean using the excuse of self-care to do exactly what you want. Self-care is a necessity and a responsibility for yourself. If you don't look out for yourself and do the things needed to maintain your body, your mind, your soul, you will burn out. You have to set healthy boundaries or you'll risk losing healthy relationships. You have to prioritize your own well-being or you won't be able to help anyone else. You have to be committed to doing the hard things or you will never grow. I am at my best when I'm able to maintain a reasonable balance between my work, family, creativity, and my own needs. You will be too. The last thing to know is that self-care is really self-love. And this applies to all areas of your life. Hi, Lissa. Thanks for joining us. Even doing things that might not seem to be related to your choice of activities or hobbies, it is related. Things like getting enough sleep, physical movement for your body, getting enough to drink, hydration. Those are the most basic parts about self-care, or the most basic steps, but there's plenty of other options depending on your personal preferences. Some of my favorites are sunlight, getting out in nature, setting boundaries, connecting with others, and a physical movement. And since these art chats center around creativity, are also specific things that I like to do that relate to that as well. Take a page from The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron and go on an artist date. If you're not familiar with that concept, it's a regularly occurring solo activity that allows the artist to explore something that interests them. The idea is to just take time away from your day-to-day life. It could just be an hour or so, an afternoon, maybe a whole day or a weekend away if it's something like a larger event. But the idea is, for you to get time by yourself to exercise your creativity and just have that time without anyone else's input. So this could be going to a museum or a gallery. You could go shopping for art supplies. You could visit the botanical gardens. You could take the afternoon to sketch out on location, like at the park or down by the beach if you live near the ocean. There's lots of different possibilities. Scheduling time away from the distractions of technology. That really helps train your mind and your eyes to see what is really around you, what is really there. Notice the geometry of the shapes, the way the shadows fall, and how things are structured. These things will help your art practice, and they kind of force you to be present in the moment you're in, to be aware of what's around you, and to really look at the small details of those things. The next suggestion is that it's okay to say no to things that don't align with your priorities. And that relates to your creative priorities, but also just your life in general. When you say yes to things that don't align with your goals, you're actually saying no to the things that you dream about. Plus, every yes adds to your commitments, your workload, and your stress levels. So think long and hard before you say yes to something, and really run it through that kind of filter to see if it's something that you want to put your time and energy into or not. Don't feel guilty about saying no, because you have to nurture and care for yourself before you can do those things for other people, like your family, friends, coworkers. You have to take care of yourself first. Dedicate time every day for things that are not related to your work that fill you back up. This could be reading, thinking, prayer or meditation, time outside, or even just enjoying a few quiet moments to yourself before the rest of the world wakes up in the morning. This is really non-negotiable and should be included in your schedule for the day so it doesn't get skipped. I think we all get so caught up in the busyness. Busyness is almost a badge of honor these days. And we all need time to step away and to decompress and just have some quiet time to ourselves. The last suggestion is actually creating. And I say creating, but in this sense of creative self-care, you really need to create things for yourself that are not necessarily related to your creative work. So if you're a painter, take time to just journal for yourself rather than working on a big painting for sale. Or you could learn a new creative hobby like knitting or gardening. If you're a chef, maybe you like writing poetry on the side. Maybe that's what fills you back up and fills your spirit. The point is, make something and create something just for yourself. Nobody else has to see it. Do it just for the pure joy, for the purpose of refilling your own soul. And again, this goes back to my earlier point. You have to fill yourself up before you can help other people. So, what does self-care in the creative context look like for you? If you don't already include it in your daily routine, how can you put it into action? And when you're adding something new to your life, to your routine, it's important not to go overboard. But the more you do, the better you'll feel. And feeling better will make you a more well-rounded, productive person. It's just about finding the balance, like with everything else. You are a better you for yourself and for others when you're whole and healthy. Thanks for joining me for this week's Art Chat. I hope you've gained some new ideas and inspiration from today's discussions. Make sure you're following me on Instagram to be notified of future episodes or subscribe to my newsletter. The link is in my Instagram bio. Come back and join me for next week's with a new episode where I'll be talking about incorporating creativity into your daily life. That's it for now. See you guys next time. Bye.